Hello everyone and welcome to Season 5 of ERL Formula 2. We are here in Paul Ricard in France in the first official race of Formula 2 around this track, as it is obviously a new venue to the F1 calendar. And now we're getting ready to start the first qualifying session here in France. Let's see if it's going to be a dry one or a wet one. It seems like for now it is going to be dry, and we have 20 drivers in the lobby. The viewers are ready to see an absolutely hectic race here, just like in F3, as the first cars are already making their way out on the track very early on. And this should be really exciting. So before we get on to the first flying laps, let's go through the standings real quick after round 7 last week in Canada, where Gamer NL won the race ahead of Ulka Curvy and Vetu in third. And the standings are quite with a big margin up the top. We have Gamer NL on 117 points, sitting very comfortably in the lead, 49 points ahead of Nigel, who is just ahead of his teammate Rinky in third. Then Maledictus on 42 points is in fourth place, with Warlock very close to him on 39 in fifth. We have Olko, who finished second last week, in sixth on 32 points, and Spaghetti, Virtu, AFC Stan and Joki rounding up the top 10, all very close to P4 in the standings. So it should be really exciting to see how the standings in the midfield plan out after this race, with quite a lot of different podium finishes and winners in this season. We have had Gamer, Joki and Rinky winning a race, so we had three different winners, and I'm not exactly sure who won in Australia, but it should be exciting as ever. Quite a different circuit, you could say, an interesting one. Some different opinions from drivers, some like it, some don't. But yeah, like it or not, you'll have to give it your best here, as I believe Joki the Gamer has had an issue. Not sure if he retired or left the session, so his name pop up. But let's see, the first flying lap should be popping up very soon, as Robin has got a 5-place grip penalty for a collision with Spaghetti, and he's round. Spaghetti is also off track in the blue rumble strips on the third sector. They are now very close to each other. They're both ready to start a lap. Spaghetti hasn't got a penalty. Robin on the Ferrari, though, has got himself a top 5 finish in this qualifying. Pretty impossible now. Chill drive in the first sector, never-ending right-hander onto the very long straight, which is leading up to a chicane. Opening the DRS now. Got yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Couple of people still in the pit lane, maybe waiting for the truck to clear up. Chill drive is going through the chicane now, starting another long straight. Very sweeping, flat out right-hander. Starting sector 3 now. You have to attack this corner. Double right-hander. Again, very long. You have to be very patient to hit your apex right. And another very tricky braking zone and a very high curve, which you don't want to hit, but you also don't want to go that wide. And into the last couple of corners, keeping it tidy, very hard on the race with the rear end. And into the last corner, it's a 30.5 from Mitchell, who's provisional pole. Stango second, Gamer in third, Joruru in fourth. Where is Chill Drive going to go? It's P3 with a 32.078. So Mitchell seems to be quite a long way ahead of his rivals at the moment. Stan 8/10 slower than Mitchell's 30.5. Let's see what other people do. Main protagonists for this session obviously would be Gamer NL, but he's finding himself down in P5 at the moment with an uncompetitive time, you could say. Maledictus goes third now as Robin goes pole with 29.8. He's trying to make up whatever he can after that 5-place grid drop. The first guy to put in a 129. Long way away from the 28, which we are hopefully going to see on this lobby. Let's see then the tyres for everyone. Mitchell was on super softs on that lap. So was Maledictus, Virtu, Stan, Chill and Gamer on softs. And pretty much everyone else who set a lap on ultra softs. So yeah, let's see what the strategy is going to be like. Who's going to start on supers, who's going to start on ultras. I would imagine most people will start on ultras. It's a relatively easy one stop around here. As some more people are making their way across the line. Turtu goes into P3 with a 30.6 on ultra softs, just behind Mitchell, his teammate. Choki joins us for the second time this session. Spaghetti Avarice, after his incident with Robin, has not set a lap yet. I think he's on a flyer now, and he's on the penultimate corner now through the last one. Bit wide through there as we have yellow flags in that particular sector. He comes back into the pit lane with a Williams making its way through the finish line. It was Tenkate with a 31.5, as some people are coming back to the pit lane. Just under 12 minutes to go. Let's see then. Rinky on his out lap. Still haven't seen a lap from him. We are expecting him to be on the first couple of rows on the starting grid. Also Nigel, the other Force India, has not set a lap, and he isn't on a flying lap at the moment. Let's see the comments if everything is okay with the stream. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. So let's get back in the action. Nigel seems to be starting a lap now. Number 76 through the first couple of corners. 26 actually, that's a weird too, to say the least. Sector 2 and Sector 3 again we have yellow flags. Might be a stopped car, might be a guy out of the session, I'm not too sure. We've seen yellow flags in Sector 3 a few times this session. Nigel then, start of Sector 2. The decent Sector 1 from what it seems like. He now opens the DRS. We have more yellow flags in Sector 2 as a Haas, as Sauber is letting Nigel through. Heavy braking into the chicane. Let's see what his teammate is up to. He's also on the second sector on the long straight on a flying lap. So let's see what the Force Indians can do in a few seconds time. We'll be posting their first timed laps. Nigel through Sector 3 now. Almost hitting both apexes, using a lot of the track. And now fourth gear through there, making his way onto the last two corners. The pole lap still hasn't been beaten. The first 11 people are still on their respected seats. Nigel doesn't want to set a lap time. Rinky right now on ultra softs through the last two corners. Let's see, some people are posting times now. Rinky will set a lap time. Where is it gonna be? It is third with a 30.6, just pipping just to the second row. Mitchell still sitting in second on super soft tires, as Robbie now is about to start his second flying lap of the day. Let's see which drivers made their way up in the rankings. Smoking Bandit went 9th on the Toro Rosso. Chill Drive also posted a lap to go P11 on the softs. Let's ride on board with Robin then, who's about to start his second flying lap of the day. Currently sitting on pole by over 6.5 tenths of a second. Can he extend that margin through the first couple of corners? A chicane complex in the first sector. Now through the downhill, right and left. Finishing sector 1 after this right-hander. He's currently 2 thousandths up on his best lap time, keeping it on hot lap now. Opens the DRS for a very long straight, and now he'll be focusing on the braking for another chicane, using a lot of the outside curb and a lot again hitting both apexes. Seems like a very good lap from Robin. Let's see if he's still up through the second sector split. He is down by 4/6 thousandths of a second. He can still make it up in the third sector. Very tidy lap from Robin so far on the Ferrari. Joki, his teammate, goes second with a 30.1 on the Ultra Softs. Still not as close as he would have wanted to Robin. Olco now betters Robin's time. He goes on to pole with a 29.5, over 3 tenths quicker, and that may catch Robin off a bit. Through the last 2 corners he goes, hits both apexes. He's going to open the DRS for one last time. Is this going to be pole again for Robin? Yes, it is. It's a 29.422. He pips Olco by 1/10 of a second. Great qualifying battle we have on our hands. 2 Ferraris on the top 3 positions. They are looking very strong this race, as Robin beats Olco by just over 1/10 of a second. Very good lap from both drivers. Is anyone going to set a 128 today? Let's see. I believe if it is going to be a 128, it might well be pole position. Let's check if Spaghetti has got a grid penalty for the incident with Robin. No, it doesn't. Remember, Robin does have a 5-place grid drop with an incident with a Toro Rosso Spaghetti chip, so he won't be starting any higher than 6th today. NN goes 4th with a 30.2 on super soft tyres. Very good lap from the Renault driver, the highest super soft runner right now. Mitchell still hasn't improved on his lap time since the start of the session about 10 minutes ago. He's now on his out lap, as some people are now making their final tyre change for the 3rd run, which will be coming up in a few minutes time. Let's see if anyone else is on a flying lap at the moment. Maledictus is starting one, attacking the first chicane. McCrown driver going really wide out of turn 2 there. Wasn't an invalidation, so it's all good for now. He is on the ultra soft tyres at the moment. Turn 2 goes P8 with a 30.6 on ultra softs. Maledictus is on the 2nd sector now. It's a very good first sector. He's on the ultra soft tyres now, so he will be most probably improving on his super soft lap time, which was set a few minutes ago. Through sector 2 he goes now. He's 5 tenths up on his lap time. This could be a 129 for Maledictus and a possible 2nd row of the grid. Let's see, a very wide line cutting now onto the apex of the 2nd right-hander. Very tight and challenging section, this one, of Paul Ricard. Approaching now the last 2 corners and the finish of the lap. He hits the apex of the last corner, smooth on the throttle, and he comes back into the pits because he wouldn't have time to do another flying lap if he would have finished that one. Let's see then. Mitchell is not on a flying lap. Is Nigel on one? No, he's not. I think he's about to start one or come back to the pits. Most people on round laps, some people still in the pit lane waiting for the right moment to go out without any traffic on their way. 3 minutes to go then on this session. And a very good chance for some people to improve their lap times with the track evolving and lap times getting faster. Grip on the tires will be coming through. Spaghetti and Donkey Dan still haven't set a lap time. The Williams driver out on track right now. Spaghetti is also out on track right now, about to start his first flying lap of the day, and hopefully a valid one to put him up in the standings. Jokey about to start a lap as well. Let's see if he can challenge his teammate for pole position. As it stands right now, he will be starting P2, Jokey, with Ulco on pole. But let's see what happens. The Ferraris are looking really strong there. Jokey through the first chicane, taking a lot of the outside and inside curbs into another downhill chicane, really challenging, especially the second part, into the very tight right hairpin. He's 2/10 up on his lap time already. Really good first sector from the Ferrari driver. He's right now on a high ERS mode, now up into overtake. It's really interesting to see what some of these drivers use throughout the lap. We saw Robin used hot lap throughout the whole lap almost, I believe. Now down to high mode for Jokey through the chicane, and I would imagine he's going to go up into overtake again for this big straight. Yes, he does. Ulco as well on a flying lap, I would assume, through the very fast right-hander. Jokey now into the double right-hander to play short car right where it needs to be for this never-ending left-hander. Oh, he misses the apex by a lot, and that's arguably going to cost him a lot of time. 29.6 by Spaghetti in third. Amazing lap by him. Very, very good lap at the moment, sitting in P2 with Robin's grid penalty. Is this going to be pole for Jokey the Gamer? It doesn't seem like it. It's a 29.9. He does improve, but not by enough to move him any positions, and he's not going to have time for another lap. It's only going to be P3 at best today. So let's see what Ulco does. At the moment, sitting in P2. Net P1. But he still wants to improve. He's 2/10 up. He can beat Robin on lap time here. That's obviously what he wants to do. And let's see what Robin is doing as well. He's off the track. He's not going to improve. A 29.4 is the best he is going to manage. He retires from the session. And all eyes now on Ulco. Can he beat him? It doesn't really matter on his finishing position, but he may well do through the last two corners. Approaches the last corner really fast. Third gear on the exit. Is he going to beat Robin on pole? No, he's not by 600ths of a second. He improves by a slight amount, but he lost a lot of time on the third sector, I believe, to Robin and to his previous personal best. I don't think anyone else is going to beat him though, so it's not going to matter all too much. It is going to be the starting tyre that he will be using on the race for the first stint though, so it may be a bit more used than the other one. I'm not sure, but a very good lap from Spaghetti Chips on the super soft tyres to qualify P3, starting P2 on a very good race tyre. Everyone has finished their qualifying efforts, and this is going to be a very interesting race from what it looks like, with various tyres on the top 10. Let's see which strategy works the best. 3 super soft runners on the top 10, the rest on ultra softs. And Spaghetti only 2/10 shy of pole position on a much slower tyre, around 4 or 5 tenths slower. So let's see how his race pace is. If he manages to stay with Ulco for the first couple of laps, I think he could be a threat for the race win today. That was a very weird crash. So, Robin's penalty costs him a pole position here in La Castellet. This is your starting grid for round 8 of season 5. Spaghetti has got a 5-place grid penalty as well. We checked that, but it didn't pop up. I thought he didn't have a penalty, so it's going to be Ulco from Mitchell, from Joki, from Robin, I believe, or Rinky. I believe Rinky will be starting 5th, Robin in 6th, and then in 7th, yeah, this is a bit weird. I think Robin may be starting 5th because of Spaghetti's penalty. I think that's how it works. But let's see. I actually don't know the starting grid. It's definitely going to be Ulco on the Mercedes on pole position and ultra soft tyres. It's going to be Mitchell in 2nd, again on ultra soft tyres. I was really looking forward to seeing what Spaghetti can do on the super soft, starting on the front row. Let's see the comments. I don't understand, it wasn't showing Spaghetti's grid drop on the race director, so I thought he will be starting 2nd. Mitchell, best of luck starting from the front row today. Keep it clean on the start, you should be fine. Let's see then who's starting where. I believe Robin will be starting 5th, Spaghetti in 8th. Only moments before we find out. Here we go, so Ulco is starting from pole position. Mitchell lines up alongside him in a very decent P2. Joki in 3rd on Ferrari. Rinky in 4th. Robin, the other Ferrari, in 5th. And then in 6th, Nigel in 7th. Spaghetti dropping to P8. Joruru on the ultra softs in P9, Stan on the super softs in P10. Let's put the tyres on so everyone can see. So this is the starting grid. We have 3 super soft runners on the top 10. Everyone outside the top 10 is starting on the super softs, excluding Swomi in P19, who's starting on softs. P1 to P5 all on ultra softs. The first super soft runner is going to be NN on the Renault in P6, followed by another ultra soft runner who's followed by a super soft one, so it's going to be interesting how they get off the line. Judging on the qualifying pace, Ulco won't have a breeze today winning this race or pulling away from anyone. It was a pretty close qualifying and we should be treated the same in the race, with 4 different cars in the first front spots. Gamer has left the session, our championship leader, down in P15, starting on the super soft tyre. Let's hope he joins us back for the race start. As Ulco lines up on pole position now, moments away from the race start. Mitchell alongside him in P2. 2 Ferraris in P3 and P5 will be looking to make their way up the order. And as we said, it's going to be really interesting to see how the strategy plans out today. It's 5 red lights here in France. And Gamer has got off the line. Now it's lights out for everyone else. Ulco seems to have got a decent start. A Red Bull down the inside, down at the back. And Mitchell seems to be under pressure from Joki. Is Joki going to do it down the inside? Ulco goes off the track. Not sure if that was a warning, but he holds on to the lead. The Red Bull of Mitchell is going to try and go down the inside yet again into turn 3. He doesn't make it stick. Joki up a position. Rinky in P4. Nigel up into P4. Robin losing a position in P6, and now he's getting attacked by Spaghetti in P7, and Spaghetti has been tangled by Robin. He's been spun, and down to last place he goes after a great start. He started P8, he gained a position, and he's now down to P19. And up the front we've got the two Force Indians battling it out. Nigel up into P4, great start by him. Rink down to P5, and the top 3 are still the same, with Joki up into P2 and Mitchell losing a position. As down the back we have a Mercedes of Virtu losing positions as he loses the back end out of the chicane. The two Renaults are also really close. Coming to the double right-hander is Chill Drive versus Stan versus the McLaren of Joruru for P8. Chill Drive has got the move done for now. Joruru gets a position from Stan. And further down the back we've got Gamer back in the lobby. No, he's not back in the lobby, unfortunately. I'm not sure why. Maybe he cannot regain car control. But yeah, not a great race for our championship leader. He will be the championship leader for the next race as well, as he has got a very big margin from P2. 49 points from Maledictus, who's not in the points either. So yeah, Ulco still in first, followed closely by Joki and by Mitchell, who is right up the gearbox of the Ferrari. Will he go for a move now onto the chicane on the big straight? He's got his ERS up into overtake. He's surely thinking for a move. Ulco tries to break the slipstream. I don't think Mitchell or Joki will be close enough for a move. Joki really looks very close. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of wings these guys are running. But at the moment, it seems like Super Softs and Ultra Softs are about the same pace, and the other Renault of Chill Drive are managing to stick with the top 6, who are all on Ultra Softs. Let's see then, NN really close to Robin. Let's see if he goes for a move. They are side by side, and then going to stick his nose in there into the last 2 corners. Robin tries to hang in around the outside on the Ultra Softs. Different tyres for these two, and then tries to go for the switchback. Will it make it? I think he will. He gets the slipstream and up into overtake for the ERS. Who will break the latest now? It's going to be about the same for both of them. Robin still around the outside. They'll make a bit of contact, which is going to allow Chill Drive to go through, and Joruru also very close to them. So now Chill Drive will have a go at Robin, who seems to be struggling relatively to the other top 5 drivers, as Mitchell is very close now to Joki. He will surely go for a move into the chicane as Warlock leaves the lobby from P20. DRS has been enabled now for both Joki and Mitchell. Mitchell's going to go down the inside. Joki does not defend, and he goes down the inside, almost crashing into the back of the Mercedes driver of Ulco. Joki down to P3, Mitchell up into P2. And let's see further down the back. Battle for P6 is still on. Chill Drive hasn't got a way past Robin. He's actually pulled away, has Robin, quite a lot. As Rinky goes a tad wide. Robin is now catching up into the top 5 drivers. He's getting really close for the fight of the victory. Ulco really seemed to be slow on that straight, and now he's getting caught by Mitchell and Joki in P2 and 3. Look at them, they're all struggling for tire grip on the last sector. And Joki and Mitchell goes into the pit lane, almost misses it and crashes into the wall. But unfortunately, everything seems to be fine, but he's actually going to change his front wing from a potential incident. We didn't see that. So he will definitely lose out on gaining ground on Olco. I think he'll drop into P4 or 5 net, with Vetu getting a 3-second time penalty. Let's see now Nigel and Joki. Nigel is the one now attacking the Ferrari as the two Renaults are going at it as well. They're very close to each other. And Robin and Rinky as well, really close. But let's see the battle for P2 now. Joki and Nigel. Nigel has got the move done. Robin has got the move done as well. And now Rinky not finding a way through. Tad better exit from Rinky. Will he be able to do a move on the Ferrari as his teammate did? I don't think he will. It's a bit too far away. And not a very good corner to go for a move, as Olco is still struggling. Although the drivers behind him are battling. He's losing ground and now he loses the back end. The Force India tries to go down the inside. Olco locks up the front left. And let's see now the grip on the last two corners. Very interesting last two corners. The Force India getting so close to the Mercedes. Look at that Mercedes sliding everywhere. Force India is going to be really patient in Nigel. I think both of them will pit. The Mercedes stays out, and so does the Force India, and so does Robin actually. So people are staying out compared to Mitchell, who pitted a lap ago. Robin now really close to Olco. Olco will definitely not make it. It's just a battle for Olco now to pit lane. He's already lost the position to Nigel, and now Robin on the back of Olco hits him, and he's got front wing damage, and Olco's got a 5-second stop and go for corner cutting. He'll have to serve out on the pit stop. Very late braking from Robin, very unnecessary to do that. He had the quicker tyre, more grip, and now he's hit Olco into the run down to turn 3. But let's see now with DRS, will he be able to make a clean move? He doesn't go for it, and this is all helping Nigel to pull away. And potentially this is the race lead for the Force India driver, as Olco loses the back end for another time this lap. Robin makes the move down. Rinky, let's run on board Rinky. He's a good spectator for this battle. Robin has to back out. Olco still on the inside defending. Will Rinky go down the inside now? Yes, it will, because these two tangle. Robin and Olco have tangled here in France for the second time this lap. Both of them losing ground, and both of them outside of the top 10. What shambles by these two on this lap. So many seconds lost. And Olco's tyres, he should have pitted last lap for sure. He has absolutely no grip. I'm not sure why he stayed out another lap. It was surely worth it just pitting. But he has stayed out, and he has lost the battle, not just for the win, but maybe for the points here. Donkey down pits and a front wing change. As Nigel has now pulled a 2-second lead with no tyre problems, no penalties. He seems to, have avoided all the trouble of the incidents, and made a clean move for the lead, and is now pulled away. So 1-2 for Force India at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see where Mitchell comes out on all of this. And now Childrive on the Super Soft making a way up into P2 ahead of Rinky, who brakes really late on the Ultra Soft tyres. I feel like one of the Force Indias will have to pit this lap so they don't double stack next lap. Where is Mitchell in all of this? Gap to leader, and Mitchell is 21.8 at the moment from Nigel. I think he will easily come out in P2, but not sure about the lead of the race, because 21.5 now. He is catching, which is important for him. 21.4, it's going to be very, very close between him and Nigel. But is Nigel going to pit this lap? He is losing time to Mitchell. I think he is going to be his rival for this race. Nigel stays out. Rinky comes in, so this is going to be a good comparison to where Mitchell stands at the moment. Rinky on softs. A couple more people pit. Rinky goes out cleanly. And now let's see where Mitchell is. Mitchell is going to jump Robin and a couple more drivers. And Rinky by a lot of time. Rinky was just a couple of seconds behind Nigel. Now Mitchell and Spaghetti are going really close to each other. No wing damage is needed by any of them here. Really tight battle here. Jokey is going to try and go around the outside of Spaghetti, who gets pushed off wide. Now Mitchell gets a 3-second time penalty, and it goes around the outside of the Toro Rosso on super soft. Jokey goes extremely wide. It's all kicking off here for the battle for P10. Mitchell really wants to get past to fight for the race win. This is going to be a double overtake around the outside on the straight, and he makes a move done. Spaghetti also makes a move stick on Jokey on the straight, who has to back out now. Mitchell has lost quite a lot of time to the leader. It's 21.5 now, and still it's going to be really close for the battle for the win. Nigel has to pit this lap. He's losing time to chill drive for over a second this lap. He is going to pit. Steady on the box and into the Force India pit crew. Mitchell onto the penultimate corner. I feel like he will jump Nigel for the race lead, but what will the Renaults do? They seem to have quite good pace. Nigel out of the pit lane now. Mitchell is going to jump in by a few seconds actually. Nigel comes out behind Jokey and very close to his teammate Rinky. Nigel is on softs. Mitchell is on super softs actually. And the Renaults will be on softs most probably, as they're now switching positions. And then into the lead, chill drive down to P2. Maledictus also passes Stan around the outside into the chicane, side by side for these two. Zertu tries to get the better of them. He's going to tuck in the toe of Stan and Maledictus. Maledictus goes defensive. Stan down the inside. No room for Zertu. They don't go around the outside there. Side by side through that right hander is enough. Maledictus is going to try and go down the inside. Never ending battle between these two. Stan seems to have the better of Maledictus. They're into P3. Maledictus down to P4 on the super soft tires. And they are now trying to catch the Renaults for the lead of this race. Mitchell has a bit of clean air to push now. As let's check the penalties, the pit stops. The top 8 have not made a pit stop. So it's Mitchell from Jokey, from Rinky, and somewhere around there are going to be the Renaults. Not exactly sure where though. They are all on super softs, so won't see a pit stop from them in a couple of laps at least. Two Renaults are really close again into the fast right hander of sector 3. Will they switch positions? It seems like NN has lost the back end, and that's a lot of time gone, and that's a wheel gone for NN on the Renault. It's race over for what it looked like a good points finish for him, and that is a very unfortunate incident for him. He lost the back end of the fast right-hander, and now Chill Drive emerged into the lead of the race from Stan to Maledictus. And Chill Drive doesn't seem to have the same tire issues as NN. A very weird place to lose the back end, but it can catch you up sometimes. Obviously not the freshest of tires, Swenen has got caught up there, and a small mistake leads to a lot of points lost. That's how it goes sometimes. Maledictus got a time penalty. Mitchell passes Betsu for P7. As Mitchell, I remember, has a time penalty as well. Quite a lot of penalties here from various drivers, so the nature of this track really doesn't do any favors to the penalties. Maledictus looking very feisty now on the back of Stan. Mitchell gets more ground on Shield Drive. He will undoubtedly emerge in the lead of the race, but not too far back is Joki on the soft tyres. And the soft tyres may work better in the end of the race compared to the super softs that Mitchell has fitted for his second stint. Shield Drive then about the same gap to Stan. Maledictus makes now his first pit stop onto soft tyres. Let's see where he emerges on the pack. It's going to be behind his teammate. Nope, teammate pits as well. As our Warlock pits as well now on lap 11. Maledictus is going to rejoin in P14, just behind the train for P12. Jertu really close to Stan now, as Stan is closing in on Shield Drive quite rapidly on this lap. Let's see if Shield Drive makes his pit stop now. I think it would be a good idea too, as he is losing quite a lot of ground to the leaders of this race. To also lose the back end there in the third sector. Let's see the grip for Shield Drive. It doesn't look too bad. Seems like he's got good car control at the moment. He's going to pit now on lap 11. So let's see where he rejoins. It should be somewhere around the top 6 on this race, around Donkey Dan and Olko. As Maledictus, who was around, he's actually going to a front wing change, so that's not going to help him at all. But I believe it was the right time to pit now for Shield Drive. And that is a Stan jumping him into the pits, who was running behind him about 3.5 seconds. He will get jumped by Olko and the Williams of Tenkate just about. Now Mitchell in P3. Rinky has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Only Dirtu and Suomi left to pit now. Mitchell, I'm not sure if he's going to go to the end, pitting on lap 4 for super softs, while everyone else pit a lap later for softs. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pull this off, in which case Joki would be in a very good shot of winning this race. Stan and Olko have switched positions. Olko loses the back end as he tries to stay with Stan, allowing Tenkate to get even closer. Olko tries to go down the inside. Not a very wise move there. Stan on the quicker tyre. Olko seems really fast now. He's going to go down the inside. A very aggressive move by Olko. He seems to have really good pace at the moment, keeping up with Stan and going for a move anywhere he really wants to there on the last sector. Maybe Stan has not got the right temperature on his tires at the moment. It is the first outlap on this set. And now Stan gets a bit of a buffer to Ulko. Suomi stays out for one more lap on the softs. We may see him out for a couple more laps on this set. If he doesn't have any tire issues, there's no reason for him to come in. But Mitchell will emerge in the race lead once that happens. Stan and Ulko again exchange positions. Not sure why. Now it's actually Ulko and Stan. And I thought it was Zertu, but it wasn't. Now Ulko lose the positions to the Williams of Tenkate as well. So yeah, quite a roller coaster of pace from Ulko on the last two sectors. Now he passes Tenkate again for P8. Net P8 after Suomi pits. Wow, great battle here. Chill Drive now getting into the action. Let's see where he emerges. Very aggressive defending from Ulko there. Chill Drive down the inside into the right-hander. Let's see what Ulko does, as he had quite a different line compared to others here. Gets a way wider line there this time. Maledictus passes Tenkate. Very close scrap here for the midfield. As we said, it reflects the standings. Midfield is so close there. And is also very close for the bottom of the points. Now the McLaren is going to go down the inside of the last corner. They're all going to pick up DRS from one another. Up into Stan, Chill Drive, Ulko, Tenkate, Maledictus and Robbie now getting past Maledictus into turn 1. He's going to leave space for the McLaren driver who's still around the outside. And Maledictus stays into P12. Great defending from him. The Ferrari, is he going to keep his nose in there? No, he's not. He's going to pick up DRS. So is Maledictus. Is he? He's 1.0, so he's not going to pick up DRS. So wise move from Robin, but he's lost a bit of time. Always hit the Fly Emirates sign, as Mitchell is now going to make his way up into P1. Is he? This is very dangerous there. Suomi lags a little bit. It's going to cost Mitchell a lot of valuable time there. Let's see now. Joki very close to Mitchell. Suomi lagging a bit on the exit of that right-hander. Put Mitchell off a bit, off the track. And now allowing Joki to get really close, as the battle for the midfield is continuing. But let's see how this battle for the win unfolds. Maybe Mitchell's tyres are starting to go off on lap 11 on this super soft set. Joki will certainly have the best tyre in a few laps time. And with Mitchell getting held up from Suomi, this is the perfect chance for Joki to hit that ERS up into overtake and try to catch and pass Mitchell with the use of DRS as well. Mitchell seems a bit too far back, and with Suomi lagging, which is really a bit dangerous right now for the win of this race. It really is going to hamper the Red Bull driver and maybe even the Ferrari driver as well, as Nigel is getting really close to this fight as well. It's getting really hectic. Look at them battles on the midfield. The gaps are absolutely incredible. Let me just look at that. That is the battle for P7. So many cars are right there. Look at that. 2, 4, 6, 7 cars battling for P7, all within 2 seconds of each other. Now around the outside is the Red Bull going to go. Zertu on Ulko. Let's go back into the battle for the lead, because we kind of have to. It's really close for all fight. It's 1.2 seconds between the top 4. Look at that. From Nigel's perspective, the Haas is going to go into the pits, and Mitchell goes as well. I did not expect that from Mitchell. Joki emerges into the lead. Mitchell does have to make another pit stop, and he's going to emerge maybe behind his train. This is not where you want to be rejoining. Look at this train for P5 now. As a chill drive is going to try and go around the outside of Stan. They are very close to each other, still side by side to turn 2. Great battle, but this ends in a crash for Stan. Another crash today. And he's outside of the points now. And back onto the action for the win. Nigel versus Joki. They are not as close as I would have thought. So let's go back to this midfield battle. From P5 down to P10. It is all up for grabs. Ulko now down the inside of Chill Drive in the big straight. He makes a move stick and another incident. Who's that involving? That's Ulko and Tenkate, who's down to P12 now. Many incidents in this midfield, not what one wants to see, not the cleanest of battles. But with so many cars here, it is going to get a bit hectic at some point. Maledict is really close to Chill Drive. And Zertu also really close. Ulko's got a bit of a buffer to P6. And now Nigel actually passes Joki, who pits. Joki pits for super soft tires. He gives up the lead of this race. And he's going to rejoin behind this train as well. He is not going to win this race if no of the other drivers pit. And 90% they are not going to pit. I'm not sure what their plan is, and I'm not sure why Joki has just thrown away 25 points. He's at the moment going to finish with 0. And it is really realistic that he is going to finish with 0 because that train is not easy to pass. Mitchell, Swomi, Robin, Maledictus, Childrive, Jertu and Ulko are all really close to each other. They all have DRS, they all have quite fresh tyres. And this is not very wise from Joki. I'm not sure what his plan is, so let's see what he does. It is definitely going to provide with more action and drama throughout the midfield. Ulko defends very aggressively. This is now a battle for P12. It was a battle for P8 a couple of laps ago. Ulko defends the inside line side by side with Jertu and him. Jertu goes around the outside. Ulko loses the back end. And he goes off the track. Jertu goes down the inside. Ulko again off the track. Is he going to stay in P4? That's Childraff out of nowhere. Oh my goodness me. Battles absolutely everywhere. Ulko really does not have great car control on this second sector. There's changes everywhere. I don't know where to look right now. Mitchell is down to P14. He's gone off the track. It's all going wrong for him. Ulko and Shield Drive really close to each other on the last corner of lap 18. Is anyone going to go into the pit lane? No, they are not. Side by side for P4, Ulko and Shield Drive. Is Shield Drive going to go down this side again? No, he's not. I don't think anyone went for a move into turn 1. And meanwhile, top 3 big gaps. Nigel, Rinky and Donkey are settling into the P3. A Ferrari of Robin, I believe, goes for a move. Maledix now pushes his teammate off of Joki. Joki only 9th at the moment as he makes his way. Ulko, what is he doing? I'm not sure what Ulko is doing there. He's got a time penalty. Jertu and Chill Drive have both got past him. Maledix is up next. Let's see what Robin does into the chicane. His teammate is also really close. Jertu and Ulko are getting really close. Jertu made a mistake, which is allowing Ulko to go right up into the gearbox of the Red Bull. Let's see now. Ulko seems to have got the move done into the fast right-hander. The McLaren is going to go down the inside of both of them. He's got the move done on Joki. Is he going to be able to make the move on Ulko as well? No, he defends. Again, running off the track. Now Joki around the outside, side by side with another driver. Around the outside of 2 cars. Great move by Joki there. Up into P6. What an overtake from Joki on the super soft tyres. I doubted this guy. I thought he was going to finish far down. but after 2 races up into P6, 5 overtakes made, and now Ulko is up next. Let's see, he's going to wait for DRS, or is he going to go for a move? He looks for it, and he pushed Ulko under pressure. Ulko again off the track, rejoins behind Joki, another overtake for the Ferrari. Ulko loses another position with Dirtu also really close. Robin also kind of close. Stan with the quickest lap. Maledictus under pressure from 2 drivers. Is Ulko going to keep P6 this time? Red Bull looks for a move. And it seems like Maledictus is now down to P8 again, as the battle seems to have relatively calmed down from what we had a couple of laps ago. Great recovery from Joki from P11 to go up into P5. It seems like it's certainly not a strategy that has played out in his hands. He's not going to win this race. He has definitely thrown away some points, but if he was on to get a puncture, then there might be some points gained. You never know. They know what they're doing, they know what their tyre percentages are, and it's all their race. They can handle it as they want. Maledictus on the DRS now. Volko seems to be driving quite interestingly here. We know it's a track that allows people to go off into the runoff area, but oh, now down the inside of Maledictus on Ulko, who defends this time. Around the outside of Maledictus, is going to be able to pull this off. Better line and better traction, and he makes the move stick on Ulko. Is Robin now going to be the next person who passes Ulko? Maledictus will be under pressure, as we saw. No great straight line speed. Robin does not open his DRS for some reason. Ulko around the outside, passes Maledictus for P6. What is Tenkate doing? He's now retired. I'm not sure what was happening there. He just came out of nowhere on Robin's screen. What is this now? Why is Robin down to P11? This is all happening again. Maledictus is really close to Ulko. Let's see now the battle for P9. I'm not sure why Robin is now down to P11. He's got front wing damage from Tenkate. A reckless move from the Williams. I'm not sure what he was doing. And now it's cost Robin the chance to fight for points after he qualified on pole. So another great race again for Robin. Joki now has made his move on chill drive almost around the outside into turn 2. Will this be another great move? It seems like it. He has to still move it around the outside in turn 3. Chill drive down the inside, almost pushes Joki. Yeah, he does push Joki off the track there. That's not how you defend a position. He cuts him off in the apex of the corner. Jertu gets past Joki. Robin and Mitchell are very close to each other. Mitchell gets past Robin for P11 now. Sorry for the many camera changes, but this is all mini battles on track which you have to keep an eye on. Suomi up into P8 on Ulko. He loses another position. Gonna try and get it back now on the exit of the chicane. Some lag from Suomi again, as we saw earlier. Ulko down the inside on the fast right-hander, side by side through there. And Suomi with a beautiful switch back. Ulko goes really wide, allowing his teammate to go through as well. Another off-track excursion from Ulko. As he's now down to P10 in this race. Joki is going to try and pass Dirtu again and try to get close to the Renault of chill drive again. I think a lot of penalties and incidents will have to get investigated after this French GP. But there's definitely been a lot of battles. 3-second time penalty for Dirtu. I'm not sure what the penalties look like at the moment. But three people that we have not focused on in the last few laps are Nigel, Rinky and Donkey Dan. And since this is the most important places, let's check the penalties. Nigel with no penalties, Donkey Dan with 1 penalty and Rinky with 2. So Donkey Dan could snatch P2 from Rinky if he doesn't pick up another penalty, the Williams. Jokey makes his move on Gertu, up into P5 again for him. Let's focus now a bit on this battle for P2. Because if Donkey Dan stays within 3 seconds, he can rob the Force India off a 1-2 here in France. It's going to be interesting to see if that is the case. Ulco really close to Mitchell. He's going to go around the outside. He has got front wing damage, I believe, now. As goes off track again. Suomi and Betu all catching up on Maledictus for P7. Donkey Dan seems to be catching Rinky, so this should be no bother for Donkey to get P2 as long as he stays within 3 seconds. Childra with a 3-second time penalty. I believe Jokey doesn't have many seconds added to his race time in the end, so he may get P4, we'll see. But will Donkey Dan risk a move for P2, or will he stay back and try just not to get a penalty? Because at this rate he's not gonna be fighting for the win with this penalty. Nigel doesn't have any penalties, he only has 1 warning. So it's Donkey Dan's to lose now. P2. Robert and Jaruru very close in the chicane. Trying to not miss any overtakes. Zulka is now very close as well. 3-way fight for P11. Jaruru defends. Zulko down the inside aggressively, pushes Robin off the track. Zulko up into P12 momentarily as Robin seems to have a bit better front end grip than him. Rinky has got another time penalty, so this is basically game over for the Force India driver for the battle for P2. Donkey Dan only has 1 penalty. Rinky has an additional 9 seconds added to his race time, so it's not going to be P2 today for the Force India driver, but it seems like it will most probably be a Force India win. Let's see now this battle for P2. Donkey Dan around the outside. Rinky defends into the chicane. Is he going to be able to go around the outside? Yes, he is. Donkey Dan up into P2 on track as well. Nothing else he has to prove now. Rinky will go on the back of him now. He's going to go for a move down the inside on the right hander. Very close between these two. I thought Rinky went for a move there, but it seems like Donkey stays in P2, and Rinky will have to settle P3 on this race with the penalties settling back. Mitchell is now really close to Suomi as well. It's been interesting seeing this race, the difference in straight line speeds between drivers. Maledictus has proved to have a very high downforce setup compared to other drivers. He was really slow in the straights. Obviously no raining qualifying for the setups to be adjusted heavily. So it was really interesting to see different wings and setups people were using today. 3 laps to go then for our race leader, Nigel. Donkey in second, Rinky in third, Betu and Maledictus switching positions. Betu goes off the track. He lost the back end, I believe, in turn 1. And now Suomi is really close to him, and so is Mitchell, who's off the track. I think he hit the barrier there, not sure why. I think Suomi cut off to his line, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see. Joki and Jertu very close to each other. Jertu has got past Joki. I'm not sure why. Joki is on a fresher, super soft compound, and he was looking way quicker than the Red Bull. He's now going to try and go back at him. Down the inside of the fast right-hander, side by side between these two. Very cool shot there into the double right-hander. I believe Joki will have the better line for this. And he goes up into P5 now again. Maledictus is constantly under pressure from Virtsu and Suomi. Really close now. Is Virtsu going to go for a move into turn 1 with a DRS? I believe we all have a very good opportunity to do so. Puts it up into high as well. He goes around the outside. Maledictus fends off the inside. And he tucks in behind him, Virtsu up into P7. A very wide line may allow Maledictus to have some sort of switchback, but he stays behind. Ricky also staying with Donkey down at the moment. Joki and Jertu again switching positions. I believe Jertu is getting past Joki in the straights on the last lap as well. Yeah, look at that. Jertu is so much quicker than Joki on the straight. He's going to be able to go for a move now. No, he's not. He loses a bit of time through the right-hander. Let's check the penalties between these two. See if this battle is actually going to cost someone something. 2 penalties for Joki, 4 penalties for Jertu. So it's a secured P5 for Joki at the moment. Looking good for him. Rinky is really close to Donkey. He is staying with him, and he might have a chance with DRS now on the exit of this right and left-handers. As Nigel is making his way on the last lap, just a couple of kilometers to go until he crosses the line in P1. Ricky getting ever so close to Donkey, but it's not going to matter. Ricky has more penalties. Now Nigel around the last 3 corners of this Grand Prix. He avoided all the chaos in this race, and deservedly he will get the victory here in France. And now Rinky actually goes down the inside of Donkey, but it's Nigel who wins here in Le Castellet, and he picks up 25 points. Rinky passes on the last lap on Donkey, but Donkey gets him back for P2. Rinky finishes in P3 to round off a double Force India podium. Chill Drive comes around the final corner to pick up 12 points for Renault and himself in the standings. Joki across the line in 4th, passes Chill Drive for 5th. 2 in 6th. That must have been really close between them. Virtsu finishes 7th, goes down to P9. Joruru in 7th, Jertu in 8th, Virtsu in 9th. Maledictus rounds off the top 10, with the rest of the drivers not scoring points. Stan and Olko is off the track for another time this race, but it is a double Force India podium for the first time this season. It is the first win of Nigel Second podium for Rinky Morris after his win in Monaco. Nigel will certainly catch a lot of ground on Gamer, who didn't score points today. The gap will go down to 24 points into the Austrian Grand Prix next week, with Rinky also gaining on Gamer. An old Dutch podium here. Here are the final results. A lot of penalties. No penalties for Nigel yet again. Seems to be really good keeping it within the track limits. Take a look at the final standings before we invite the top 3 drivers for interviews. If you have any questions for the top 3, let them on the comments. Good race from everyone. Some amazing battle through the midfield. Hello Ricky. Hello Nigel. Hello. Just waiting for Donkey to join the party if we can. Start the interviews for the day. Some great battling in the midfield. Let's see. We can start with Rinky. P3 today for you. Gaining some ground on Gamer, your second podium. Seem to be on a pretty good streak at the moment. Can you keep it going into Austria? Yeah. Do you think you can mount a challenge to Nigel or Gamer, and do you think your teammate can catch up to the Sauber of Gamer for the following races? Yeah, let's see. Do you think today you could have challenged maybe for the victory if you qualified a bit better than Nigel? Because obviously you both did a great job avoiding all the chaos and all the different strategies. I think you did a quite good strategy today compared to everyone else. Do you think you could have at least snatched P2 or got a bit unlucky with the penalties? Okay, so you were getting the same line and it was a warning every time. Yeah. Wow, okay. So definitely cost you a P2 today from Donkey. Yeah, it could have been great for P2 and first for Force India. You're obviously pretty close to Mercedes on the constructors, only 35 points before France. And I think now it's getting really close between you two. I'm not sure where the Mercedes drivers finished today. I can't exactly remember. I'll have a look. But I think you definitely got a lot of points to them. Do you think you can get the Constructors Championship by the end of this year, or keep this momentum going? Because it was not often we see a double podium by any team. Do you think it was just for avoiding all the chaos, doing a good strategy, or you can mount a challenge based on pace wise to the Mercedes drivers? For sure. So, moving to Nigel, a very good victory from you. Congratulations, you moved to 24 points behind Gamer. And as we said, I think you can definitely. There's obviously a lot of races to go, and with the right amount of luck and pace and good racecraft, good strategy, a lot of things coming into play. Do you think Austria could be another good points finish for you? Yeah, of course. So another question for today. Obviously, not getting involved in many battles, but having to do some overtakes. How do you approach the first couple of laps, Nigel? Do you go aggressive, going for moves, or do you try to keep it clean, stay out of trouble, and yeah, just not getting damaged? Yeah, of course, yeah, it can get quite hectic in the start, and F2 was really close in the midfield. Would you hope to get it? Yeah, like would you hope to get involved in these battles, or just do the race you did today? No. Yeah, just better get the 25 points. Screw the battles. Yeah, of course. I don't think Donkey Down is gonna join us. Mhm. Let's see. More questions from the viewers. So I think we may round it off there. Congratulations to the Force India team getting a double podium today, catching the Mercedes drivers in the constructor standings, and Gamer not scoring any points today, our championship leader, heading into Austria next week. Will this momentum keep going for the Force India drivers, and will Gamer bounce back next week? Find out in 1 week's time, next Friday, 8 p.m. UK time. Join us in Spielberg. Goodbye.